In this lesson, I will work with an advanced type of another pattern that is called fill pattern. You can get that fill pattern tool under this feature tab, under this drop down menu, linear pattern drop down menu. From here, the last one is fill pattern. When I activate this fill pattern, you can get lots of information. That means this is very advanced tools and you can do lots of things with this. What does this do? First, you have to select the fill boundary. Suppose this is my boundary and I have to make a sketch. On the top plane I made the sketch, and after selecting the boundary I have to mention the pattern layout. That means when I select the pattern layout and pattern type, it will create pattern automatically. Suppose I select this, the circular one, and before I select anything I will select any feature to pattern. Any type of feature I can select, any type of face I can pattern or body I can pattern. But for this example, first I will create seat cut. Create seat cut means by default in SolidWorks you can get this 4 type of cut. You can by default use this cut. You do not need to make this type of shape on the surface. So any shape I can use. Suppose I select this polygon, and for polygon if I select 6 and my everything is okay, I am getting the outer radius and the inner radius from here. If I want I can change this thing, but it's okay for me, and I will go to the top. Now from this image you can see this is the loop spacing, so you can get the loop spacing from here. I can put 15, and there are 2 types. One is instance per loop, another is target spacing. First I will work with instances per loop. When I select this instances per loop, I have to mention how many instances do I need per loop. I select the 5, then the margin will be 0 millimeter. I will discuss this later. Then I have to mention the direction. If I go to the top view, if I select this direction, and you can see this is on the bottom direction. That means it is starting from this direction. If I change this direction, you can see it is starting from this direction. So direction is important here, and if I want to increase this instance, you can see it's increasing. And if I want to reduce this loop spacing, you can reduce the loop from this up and down arrow, or you can mention your loop spacing from here. And there is another type that is called target spacing. If I select my target spacing, first I have to select the loop spacing which I mentioned here. Another thing I have to mention, that is called instance spacing. Instance spacing, you can see from the preview, this is the instance spacing. If I mention 20, you can see this is the preview I can get, and if I want I can reduce this to 10. Now I can reduce this thing. So by this way it will work. Now you can see this for the margin, the distance is 0 millimeter. That means the distance between here to here is supposed to be 10 millimeter, but its gap is not 10 millimeter, because if SolidWorks want to put another instance here, it will overlap with this margin. That's why it's not putting another instance here. But if I want, I can put minus margin, -5. Then you can see it's adding another instance here. So if I say everything is okay with this thing, then I will press OK. By this way you can make this advanced type of pattern. But you have seen I used the default create seat cut, the default one, this one. But if you want, you can use your custom one. Like you have to select your feature first. So before I do that thing, I have to make one feature here. I already created this feature, just I suppress that thing, that's why you did not see that thing. Now I will make another fill pattern with this feature, with my custom feature. So I will activate this fill pattern. First fill one boundary, layout circular, This distance I can put 13. Target spacing I can put 20. This is -10, and that I have to put the direction, and now I have to select the selected feature. So I can select from here. When I select this, you can see this is the preview. So that means by using your custom pattern, you can add that custom pattern from here. There are lots of other pattern you can do with face and body. You can also instance to skip. You can also skip your instance. If I want to skip this few instance from here, I have to just select this instance, and if I want, I can also use different type of layout. There are different type of layout. Just try to work with different type of layout and try to practice, so you can understand what type of layout you can use within this fill pattern. So by this way you can make this advanced type of fill pattern.